Baseball and the radio have always been connected. Whether you listened on Dad's car radio, Grandpa's tabletop, or your own transistor under the pillow, nothing can capture baseball's best moments like radio. Thrilling moments like Mazeroski's homer to win the 1960 World Series. Unbelievable moments like Willie Mays' catch in 1954. Even poignant moments such as Lou Gehrig's farewell. You're about to hear these and many, many others just as they were called by the legendary announcers. This copyrighted recording is the property of Major League Baseball. Any reproduction or other commercial use of this recording, in whole or in part, is prohibited. Let's begin our trip back into baseball time, Volume 1 of baseball's best moments, with the golden era of the 1920s. We'll be listening to one of the greatest records set by the one and only Babe Ruth. It's the end of the 1927 season. The Yankees, with their fabled Murderers Row, have long since captured the pennant. But there is one question remaining. Can Babe Ruth, the Sultan of SWAT, top his own single-season home run record of 59 set back in 1921? He's facing the Senators' Tom Zachary. Here's how it sounded back in 1927.
Yankees 2, Senators 2, 8th inning. Yanks hoping to wrap up this sensational season with just one more victory. Here's the pitch, fastball in, call strike. Babe hit 2 home runs on Thursday to equal his career high of 59, but the Bambino is always up for something new. Again, Zachary's pitch, high, ball 1, 1-1. Mark Koenig leads off third, he triples. Gehrig the on-deck hitter. 1 out, we're in the 8th. Score all tied at 2-2. Again, Zachary is ready. The crowd is tense. Here's the pitch. Swing on hit high and deep to right field. Races back to the fence, but this one is into the seats for a home run. The Yankees take the lead 4-2, and for Babe Ruth, home run number 60, breaking his own record of 59. Just listen to this crowd.
5 years later, in 1932, the Babe and the Yankees are facing the Cubs in the series. It's Game 3. The Yanks have taken the first 2 games at home, and the Cubs and their faithful fans have been hounding the Babe all afternoon. The score is tied, and Babe makes a gesture no one will ever forget.
Charlie Wood gets his signal. Babe Ruth steps out of the batter's box to get him. He's holding up his 2-2, indicating the count is ball 2 and strike 2. Uh-oh, and now Babe Ruth is turning out towards center field, and he's yelling at the Cubs that the next pitch over is going out in the center field. Now he's looking toward the stand. Yes, he's turning and he points again to center field. And here's the pitch to count is ball 2 and strike 2. It's coming, Babe Ruth connects, and there it goes. The ball is going high into the center field stand, into the scoreboard, and it's a home run.
In 1935, Babe's career is winding down. His days with the Yankees are over. He's back to Boston, where he began his major league career, this time with the Braves. And in one of his last games, he goes out in true Ruthian style, hitting his last home run.
Listen to this crowd here at Forbes Field. They want to see the Babe hit another. He's 3 for 3 this afternoon, including 2 home runs. First into the lower deck in right field, the second a shot into the upper deck. He also has a run-producing single. They say he's a fat 40, but he still gives the fans a thrill every time he comes up to the plate. Guy Bush working very carefully to Ruth. He doesn't want to get stung again. The 3-1 pitch. Ruth swings. There's another shot to deep right. This one is over the right field roof. Wow! The Babe hits his 3rd home run of the day and drives in his 6th one, and the Braves now trail Pittsburgh 7-6. What a shot by Ruth.
In the depths of the Depression, baseball was enlivened by the antics of players like Dizzy Dean and his brother Daffy. Their Cardinals took the series in 1934. Here's how the Dean brothers assessed the Cards' prospects the next spring.
Well, Diz, the pennant race will soon be on again. What do you think of our chances for the pennant next season?
Well, Daff, I think the St. Louis Cardinals will win the pennant again in 1935, and I'm hoping they do. And if you come through and I do, I think we'll be sure to win. Say, Daff, how's that old soup bone of yours feel this year?
It feels fine, Diz. I hope that I can win 20, 25 games next year. How does that ham hock of yours feel?
Well, I hope that I can win 30 or 25 or 30 more games this year with that baby, and I think that I can squeeze 30 more games out of it this year.
With the departure of Babe Ruth, the Yankees look to the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig, for leadership. Here's Lou facing the Giants' Fred Fitzsimmons in the 3rd game of the 36 series.
Gehrig leading off, first man up in the last half of the 2nd inning. Nobody has scored as yet. Here's the windup, 2-2. There it goes, a long smash deep into center field. Way up, going. A home run! A home run! Lou Gehrig with a count, ball 2 and strike 2.
As the 30s moved along, a host of new stars emerged. No young pitcher had more of the right stuff than an Iowa farm boy named Bob Feller. In 1938, at the age of 19, Feller writes his name into the record books with his 18th strikeout in a single game.
And down goes Chet Labs for the third strike. That makes it 18 for Bob Feller, a new major league record.
As a hitter, no new star matched the excitement of Joe DiMaggio. In Game 2 of the 1938 series, as the Yankees were on their way to sweeping the Cubs, Joe D. gives an indication of things to come with this shot.
First to the ninth, leading off for New York, Tommy Hendrick, batting left-handed. Dizzy Dean on the mound for Chicago. First pitch, and it's a hard hit ball for a base hit going into right field, good for a single. Hendrick lines a single into right field to open the ninth inning for New York. It was hit number 5 off Dizzy Dean. Correction, hit number 6. Hendrick on first base. Nobody is out. DiMaggio up. Score 4-3 New York. DiMaggio batting right-handed, 1 hit and 3 times up. The pitch hitting straight away, a long, high fly ball going far out into left field. The ball is over the fence for a home run. A tremendous smash far over the left field fence for a home run by Joe DiMaggio, driving in Hendrick ahead of him and making the score now 6-3. New York over Chicago.
In 1939, baseball had reasons to be proud and sad. The pride came from the celebration of 100 years since Abner Doubleday supposedly invented the national pastime. Many of baseball's legends came to Cooperstown that summer to be inducted into the new Baseball Hall of Fame. Here's what some of the greats had to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now declare the National Baseball Museum and the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York, the birthplace of baseball, open. May it forever stand as a symbol of clean play and good sportsmanship. We now pay honor to the members of the Baseball Hall of Fame, great players and great sportsmen of the past and present. Cornelius A. McGillicuddy, Connie Mack, I feel greatly honored in being here today where our first national game was started by Major Abner Doubleday. And now, Honus Wagner, the Flying Dutchman, the greatest shortstop in the game's history. Ladies and gentlemen, I was born in 1874. This organization, as it started, was 1876. And when I was just a kid, I said, I hope someday I'll be up there playing in this league. And by chance, I did. Now, Connie Mack, the gentleman that preceded me here at the mic, I remember walking 14 miles just to see him play ball for Pittsburgh. Now, the next memorial to come before the mic is Tris Speaker, greatest defensive player of all time and a great hitter. I'm very happy indeed to have been chosen by the sports writers as a member of this great Hall of Fame. Napoleon Larry Lajoie. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very glad to be here today and to meet all the old-timers that you probably, a lot of you, have watched playing baseball and some of the greatest men that ever walked on the ball field. Grover Cleveland Alexander.
I'm proud to be a member of these gentlemen who have been here before me and will follow me up here. And in my dreams, I often think what I could do today with a team like they were, if they could be now what they were then.
Babe Ruth, the Bambino.
You know, to me, this is just like an anniversary myself. Because 25 years ago yesterday, I pitched my first baseball game in Boston for the Boston Red Sox.
The sad note in 1939 came with the retirement of Lou Gehrig. On May 1st, Lou ended his 2,130 consecutive game streak. Several months later, diagnosed with an incurable disease, Lou faced his fans at Yankee Stadium.
Past 2 weeks, you've been reading about a bad brag. Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
when you look around, wouldn't you consider it privilege to associate yourself with such a fine-looking man as is standing in uniform in this ballpark today? That I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. Thank you.
1941 was one of baseball's greatest years. Ted Williams batted .406, and Joe DiMaggio survived incredible pressure to hit in 56 consecutive games. Here's how it sounded as Joe's streak came to an end.
67,000 fans at Municipal Stadium in Cleveland, watching to see if Joe DiMaggio can keep his 56-game hitting streak alive. Jim Bagby on the mound, works the count for 1-1, a runner on first base. Here's the pitch. Joe DiMaggio swings that ground ball hit out to short to Lou Goodrow. He flips the game back for 1 out, relays and drives at first. It's in time for a double play. Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak is stopped.
The 1941 World Series was the first Subway Series between the Brooklyn Dodgers and New York Yankees. In Game 4, it looked like the Dodgers had wrapped the game up and the series was about to be tied at 2 games apiece. With 2 outs in the 9th, Tommy Henrich strikes out and the game is over. Or is it?
It's the first half of the 9th inning. The Dodgers are leading by a score of 4-3. There are 2 out, nobody on base. Tommy Henrich is up, and the count is 3 balls and 2 strikes. Reliever Hugh Casey is on the mound. He's walking around behind the hill now, getting set for the payoff pitch. This is a big one. Now he turns around, he looks in toward the plate to catcher Mickey Owen to get the sign for the next pitch. He shakes it off. Owen gives him another sign. Casey okays this one, steps on the rubber. He's all set to go. 3-2 the count on Henrich. Joe DiMaggio on deck. Casey goes into the windup. Around comes the right arm. In comes the pitch. It's way inside. Henrich swings. He misses strike 3, but the ball gets away from Mickey Owen. It's rolling back to the screen. Tommy Henrich racing down toward first base. He reaches it safely, and the Yankees are still alive with Joe DiMaggio coming up to bat.
World War II had a serious effect on the quality of the game. Many stars were in the service, and a few players never returned. But by 1946, baseball was back in full swing, and the 46 series was a true fall classic. The Red Sox and Cardinals exchanged victories until the 7th game. In the 8th inning of Game 7, Enos Slaughter led off with a single, then waited through 2 outs. Then Harry Walker hits a line drive over short.
Enos Slaughter's on first base with 2 away. Harry Walker at bat. Bob Finger on the mound. He takes the stretch. Here's the pitch. There goes Slaughter. The ball is swung on. There's a line drive going into left center field. It's in there for a base hit. Culberson fumbles the ball momentarily, and Slaughter charges around second, heads to third. Pesky goes out into short left to take the relay from Culberson. And here comes Enos Slaughter rounding third. He's going to try for home. Here comes the throw, and it is not in time. Slaughter scores.
The game's greatest legend, Babe Ruth, gravely ill with cancer, made his final appearance at Yankee Stadium on April 27, 1947.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Bambino, the Sultan of SWAT, Babe Ruth.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know how bad my voice sounds. Well, it feels just as bad.
In Game 6 of the 47 series, the Dodgers led 8-5 in the bottom of the 6th, but Joe DiMaggio was the tying run at the plate. Here's how Red Barber called it.
Joe DiMaggio up, rolling at a club down at the end. Big fella sets, Hatton pitches, a curveball high outside for ball 1. So the Dodgers are ahead 8-5. And the crowd well knows that one swing of this bat, this fella's capable of making it a brand new game again. Joe leans in. He has 1 for 3 today. 6 hits so far in the series. Outfield deep, round toward left, the infield overshifted. Here's the pitch. Swung on, belted. It's a long one. Deep in left center. Back goes Jean Frito. Back. He makes a one-handed catch against the bullpen. Oh, doctor.
The 1947 series brought the Yankees and Brooklyn Dodgers together again, and Game 4 looked like history in the making. The Yanks' Bill Bevins entered the 9th inning with a no-hitter. He got 2 outs, then walked 2 batters. Could he retire the light-hitting Cookie Lavagetto and become an instant legend? Let's listen.
John Frito walks off second. Mixes off first. They both rather go on anything. 2 men out, last of the 9th. The pitch, Swung on. There's a drive hit out toward the right field corner. Henrik is going back. He can't get it. It's off the wall for a base hit. Here comes the tying run, and here comes the winning run.
Before free agency and mega media revenues, even smaller cities could develop winners. In 1948, the Cleveland Indians won their first pennant in 28 years behind the pitching of Feller and Lemon. Here are the Indians taking the flag.
Here's the pitch, and Tebbett swings, and there's a hot shot down the third baseline. Keltner moves in, knocks it down, picks it up, finds the handle. Here's the throw to Robinson at first, and Tebbett is out. The ball game is over. The final score, Cleveland 8, Boston 3. Yes, the Cleveland Indians win their first American League pennant in 28 years. And man, oh man, how I'd like to be down on Euclid Avenue right now.
The 1949 season has proven to be the stuff of literature. The Boston Red Sox roared back from a 12-game deficit to hold a one-game lead over the Yanks with 2 to play in New York. The Yankees won the first, and in the second...
Tebbett off the second, struck out, down to the third. Rice pitches. Brody swings and pops it up in the air. Look out now. Look out now. Henrik says he's got it. Tommy Harrison, the Yankees win the pennant. And we're going to have a special broadcast for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go downstairs to the clubhouse right now. Just take over.
The Yankees went on to face the Dodgers in the series. In Game 1, Don Newcomb and Allie Reynolds matched shutouts for 8 innings. Reynolds retired Brooklyn in the top of the 9th. Then Tommy Henrik led off the bottom of the 9th for the Yankees.
Henrik swings from the end. Right side of the infield, it's full depth. Hodges, the first baseman, step over toward the line. Newcomb's pitch has his curve down across the shins for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Newcomb looking into the dirt. He has a rather odd idiosyncrasy on the mound, and his pumping, we'll tell you about in a second. 2-0 pitch is swung on, drilled out toward right field, going way back. That's the ball game, a home run for Tommy Henrik.
In August of 1951, the New York Giants were 13.5 games behind the Dodgers and going nowhere. But the underdog Giants, led by Sal Maglie and Larry Jansen's clutch pitching, closed the gap. The regular season ended in a tie. The teams split the first 2 games of the 3-game playoff. In Game 3, the Giants trailed 4-1 going into the bottom of the 9th. They closed the gap to 4-2. Then 2 runners were on, 1 man out as Bobby Thompson steps to the plate. Here's Russ Hodges' call.
Bobby Thompson up there swinging. He's had 2 out of 3, a single and a double, and Billy Cox is swinging right on the third base line. 1 out, last of the 9th. Blanca pitches. Bobby Thompson takes a strike call on the inside corner. Bobby hitting at .292. He's had a single and a double, and he drove in the Giants' first run with a long fly to center. Brooklyn leads at 4-2. Hartog down the line at third, not taking any chances. Loxton without too big of a lead at second, but he'll be running like the wind if Thompson hits one. Blanca throws. There's a long drive. It's going to be, I believe. The Giants win the pennant. 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 Bobby Thompson hits into the very back of the left field stand. The Giants win the pennant, and they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
In '52, it was a Dodgers-Yanks World Series for the 4th time in 11 years. This time, the Dodgers held a 3-2 lead. The Yanks won Game 6, then took the lead in Game 7. In the 7th, Jackie Robinson came up with the bases loaded, looking to put Brooklyn ahead.
Man with every pitch that's thrown. The championship flag is flying. On third base is Perillo. On second base, Cox. On first base, Reese. Yanks 4, Dodgers 2, 7th inning, 2 down, 2-2 on Robinson. It's a high pop-up. Who's going to get it? Here comes Billy Martin digging hard, and he makes the catch at the last second.
The 50s were quickly becoming the era of the New York center fielders, Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. In 1953, Mickey Mantle helped build his legend with a colossal wallop off the Senators' Chuck Stobbs.
Mickey Mantle at bat with a count of 1 ball, no strikes. Left-handed pitcher Chuck Stobbs on the mound. Mickey Mantle, a switch hitter, batting right-handed, digs in at the plate. Here's the pitch. Mantle swings. There's a tremendous drive going into deep left field. It's going. It's going over the bleachers and over the sign atop the bleachers into the yards of houses across the street. It's got to be one of the longest home runs I've ever seen hit. How about that? We just learned that Yankee publicity director Red Patterson has gotten hold of a tape measure, and he's going to go out there to see how far that ball actually did go. Man, that's got to be one of the longest wallops I've ever seen hit.
Willie Mays may have been baseball's best all-around player. He could hit, he could run, he could throw, and yes, he could field. Here's Game 1 of the '54 World Series. Powerful Vic Wertz is at bat. This is probably the most famous catch in World Series history.
There's a long drive way back in center field, way back. It is second. Doby is able to go to third. Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people. 5. Notice where that 483-foot mark is in center field. The ball itself, Russ, you know this ballpark better than anyone else I know, had to go about 460, didn't it? It certainly did, and I don't see how Willie did it, but he's been doing it all year.
The Cleveland Indians had won 111 games in 1954 to set an American League record, but they proved all too human as the Giants swept the series. As an indication of things to come, Game 1 went into extra innings after Mays' catch. In the 10th, the Giants put 2 men on, and up came pinch hitter Dusty Rhodes.
And here comes a guy that did a tremendous lot of damage to the National League pitchers this year. Dusty Rhodes coming up to the plate. Dusty Rhodes batting at .341. Hit 15 home runs this year for the Giants, drove in 50 runs, and didn't play too often. Played in only 82 of the ball games. Used principally as a pinch batter. Dusty Rhodes coming on, hitting left-handed. So Lemon has his work cut out for him with 1 out, 2 on here in the last of the 10th inning. Rhodes swings on the first pitch, hits a high fly ball into right field, coming over is Pope, back near the line, leaps. He can't get it. It's into the right field stands for a home run for Dusty Rhodes. Lemon throws his glove straight up in the air, and that's it.
The Milwaukee Braves started coming on strong in the mid-50s. One of their best was Joe Adcock, who had a dream day on July 31st, 1954. His 4 home runs in 1 game made him only the 4th man in this century to accomplish this feat. Here's homer number 4.
3 home runs, a double, 4 runs scored, and 6 runs batted in for Joe. Into the windup. The fastball swung on a drive back in deep left center field. It's going back towards the wall. It's a home run. Joe Adcock has just tied a real Major League record with his 4th home run today.
1955 was the year it all came together for Brooklyn. Johnny Padres was unstoppable in the series. But in the 6th inning of Game 7, it nearly all came apart. Yogi Berra comes to bat as the tying run with the outfield playing him around toward right. And left fielder Sandy Amoros is about to save the series for the Dodgers.
Johnny Padres on the mound. Dodgers leading 2-0. Billy Martin leads off second base. Gil McDougall off first. Yogi Berra the batter. The outfield swung way around toward right. Sandy Amoros is playing way into left center. Berra is basically a pulled hitter. Here's the pitch. Berra swings, and he does hit one to the opposite field, down the left field line. Sandy Amoros races over toward the foul line. He makes a sensational running one-hand catch. He turns, whirls, fires to Pee Wee Reese. Reese fires to Gil Hodges at first base in time to double up Gil McDougall, and the Yankees rally is stymied.
The Yankees were not discouraged by their 55 series loss to the Dodgers. In fact, they were back to face Brooklyn in the next year's series. Don Larson took the mound for Game 5, and inning after inning, the Dodgers went down in order. Could Larson do what Bevins could not? Could there be a perfect game in the World Series? There are 2 outs in the 9th. Pinch hitter Dale Mitchell is at bat for the Dodgers.
That is 1-1. And this crowd just straining forward at every pitch. Here it comes. A swing and a miss. 2 strikes, ball 1 to Dale Mitchell. Listen to this crowd. I'll guarantee that nobody has left this ballpark. And if somebody did manage to leave early, man, he's missing the greatest. 2 strikes and a ball. Mitchell waiting, stands deep, feet close together. Larson is ready, gets the sign. 2 strikes, ball 1. Here comes the pitch. Strike 3. A no-hitter, a perfect game for Don Larson.
Herb Score was the pitching phenom of 55 and 56, leading the American League in strikeouts both his freshman and sophomore seasons. But in his 5th start of 1957, a line drive off the bat of Gil McDougall changes Score's future and that of the Indians as well.
Now Herb Score is ready to go again, looking in, taking his time, takes his cap off, wipes the perspiration from his brow, looking in now to Jim Hegan. Got the sign, here's the windup, and the fastball comes down. There's a swing and a line drive, right back at Score, it hits him and he's down.
Stan the Man Musial came to the Cardinals in 1941 and quickly became the heart of the team. Stan had led the National League in batting 7 times. He was hitting well over 300 in 1958 when he stroked his 3,000th hit.
Here's the pitch. Line drive, there it is! Into left field! Hit number 3,000! A run is scored! Musial ran first! On his way to second with a double! Holy cow, he came through!
Harvey Haddix taught baseball fans a new definition of heartbreak in 1959. Against the Braves, Haddix faced the minimum 36 batters over 12 innings and retired them all, an unprecedented 12-inning perfect game. But the 13th started with an error. Haddix then faced Joe Adcock.
For the final out of the 9th inning was a strikeout on Luberdet. It was the 8th turned in by Haddix, and at that moment he became the 8th pitcher in all the history of baseball to pitch a perfect no-hit, no-run game. He then went on to get him in the 10th and the 11th and the 12th, retiring 36 in a row and counting the final 2 outs he had against the Cardinals in his last victory at Forbes Field. He retired 38 men in order before a man got aboard and then only on an error. 1 out, batter Adcock takes high ball 1. One ball, no strikes. There isn't anybody right now sicker at this moment than Don Hook, I guarantee you that. He's crushed over this. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball, deep right center. That ball may be on through and over everything. It is gone, home run.
They called Ted Williams the Splendid Splinter. He was so serious, so intense about the art of hitting. Ted never let down. Even in 1960, having announced his retirement, this is what happened when he came up for his last Major League at-bat. Even then, Ted went out on top.
The count 1-1 to Williams. Everybody quiet now here at Fenway Park after they gave him a standing ovation of 2 minutes, knowing that this is probably his last time at bat. 1 out, nobody on, last of the 8th inning. Jack Fisher into his windup. Here's the pitch. Williams swings, and there's a long drive to deep right. That ball is gone, and it is gone. A home run for Ted Williams in his last time at bat in the Major League.
The 1960 Pirates played the mighty Yanks even for 6 games and entered the bottom of the 9th, tied 9-9 in a wild 7th game. Ralph Terry is on the mound for the Yankees. Bill Mazeroski of the Bucks steps in to lead off the inning. History is about to be made.
Well, a little while ago, when we mentioned that this one, in typical fashion, was going right to the wire, little did we know. Art Ditmar throws. Here's a swing and a high fly ball going deep to left. This may do it. Back to the wall goes Berra. It is over the fence. Home run. The Pirates win. Ladies and gentlemen, Mazeroski has hit a 1-0 pitch over the left field fence at Forbes Field to win the 1960 World Series for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
1961 marked the first time that Major League Baseball had more than 16 teams. The American League expansion created the new Washington Senators and the Los Angeles Angels. Here's how it all began for the Angels.
61 is the proud statement of sports fans in Los Angeles. On this historic date of April the 11th,
in the year 1961. The city of the Angels adds strength to its claim as the sports capital of the world. Baseball players whose uniforms are lettered Los Angeles play their first championship game in the American League. Today, the Angels open the 1961 season here in Baltimore's Municipal Stadium against the Baltimore Orioles.
1961 was also the year of the battle to beat Babe Ruth's single-season home run record. All summer long, as their Yanks romped to the pennant, Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris were neck and neck with the Babe's home run pace and each other. Then Mantle was injured and Maris fought on alone. Could Roger tie the Babe?
2-0 Baltimore, third inning. 2 outs, nobody on. There it is. There it is. If it stays fair, there it is, number 60. A standing ovation for Roger Maris, who's got number 60.
Okay, could Maris beat the Babe? Here's the most famous asterisk in baseball history.
Here comes Roger Maris. They're standing up, waiting to see if Maris is going to hit number 61. Here's the windup. The pitch to Roger, way outside, ball one. And the fans are starting to boo. Low ball two. That one was in the dirt. And the boos get louder. 2 balls, no strikes on Roger Maris. Here's the windup. Fastball hit deep to right. It's put the it. Way back there. Holy cow, it's big. 61 for Maris. Look at him fight for that ball out there. Holy cow, what a shot. Another standing ovation for Roger Maris. 61 home runs, and they're still fighting for that ball out there. People were climbing over each other's backs. One of the greatest sights I've ever seen here at Yankee Stadium.
Expansion continued in 1962, moving to the National League. The New York Mets and Houston Colt 45s joined the league. The Mets assembled a team of all-stars, but unfortunately, most were all-stars of 10 years before. Listen to the first official moments of the Mets.
Hi there, everybody. This is Bob Murphy, welcoming you to the first regular season game in the history of the New York Mets. Brought to you by Rheingold Extra Dry. Tonight, the New York Mets meet the St. Louis Cardinals right here in St. Louis. Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner, and I are on hand to bring you every bit of the action. Yes, sir, the New York Mets are on the air in their first great season. Right now, Casey Stengel, Johnny Keane, and the 4 umpires are getting together at home plate for the last-minute check.
What made the Mets so amazing, as Casey Stengel called them? In mid-1962, they acquired Baltimore first baseman Marv Throneberry. Marv quickly became the symbol of the lovable but frustrating Mets. Here's how Marv turned a decisive hit into something very different.
Marv Throneberry with the bat. Here's a swing and a drive. Going deep to right center field. Could be in between, and it is. It's an in-betweener. Woodling is coming on to score. Frank Thomas is rounding third. He's coming on to score. Marv Throneberry is on his way to third, and he goes in standing up with a triple. 2 runs is scored for the New York Mets on a long, long wallop off the bat of Marv Throneberry out into the bullpen area of the New York Mets in right center field. It's a 4-3 ball game, and Throneberry is on at third with 1 man out, and Charlie Neal is coming up. And Barney Schultz, the veteran knuckleballer, is throwing in the bullpen now for the Chicago Cubs with Charlie Neal at the plate. There's 1 man out. Throneberry leads down the line at third. Hobby steps off the rubber and throws over to first base, and he is out at first base on an appeal play. And an appeal play, Dusty Boggess says that Throneberry missed first base. Hobby threw over to Ernie Banks, and Boggess has called Throneberry out for missing first base.
The 1962 World Series went down to the wire. The San Francisco Giants, who had defeated the Dodgers for the flag in a 3-game playoff, took the Yankees to Game 7. Ralph Terry dueled Jack Sanford. The Yanks led 1-0 in the bottom of the 9th. With 2 outs, the Giants had Matty Alou at third, Willie Mays at second. A base hit, and the Giants would be world champs. Would Ralph Terry meet the same fate as when Mazeroski took him deep 2 years before? Powerful Willie McCovey comes to bat.
George Sal and Joe Garagio at Candlestick Park in San Francisco, and this place is a madhouse right now. The Yankees lead 1-0, the bottom of the 9th. The Giants have runners second and third with 2 outs, and Willie McCovey is the batter. Ralph Terry gets that.
Here's the pitch to Willie. There's a line is straight to Richardson. The ball game is over and the World Series is over. Willie McCovey hit it like a bullet. A line drive right straight to Bobby Richardson at second base. Had that ball got out of his reach, the Giants would have been the winner. Now it's the Yankees who have mobbed Ralph Perry in the center of the diamond, and well, they should.
The '63 World Series belonged to the Dodgers, and particularly to Sandy Koufax. In Game 1, Sandy battled Whitey Ford and came out ahead, setting a World Series record for strikeouts.
Yogi Berra coaching at first. Frank Crosetti is coaching at third. Both hollering encouragement to Harry Bright to keep it alive. 2 men out, 2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Koufax has struck out 14. That ties Erskine's record. The left-hander gets a pinch of the rosin bag. Takes a look down at Roseboro. Checks the base runner Pepitone at the belt. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Bright. Is swung on and misses. Struck him out. And look at those Dodgers come running out. Roseboro congratulates Koufax as the Dodgers have just beat the Yankees in the first game of the 1963 World Series by the score of 5-2, with Koufax setting a new strikeout record. And the final score, the Los Angeles Dodgers, it was 5 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. And for the New York Yankees, it was 2 runs, 6 hits, and no errors.
Jim Bunning of the Phillies had pitched a no-hitter while in the American League with the Tigers. On Father's Day 1964, he faced the hapless Mets and held them transfixed. Here's the conclusion of Bunning's perfect game.
Jim Bunning is 1 out from a perfect ball game. Striking out, a perfect game for Jim Bunning.
Bunning's heroics couldn't prevent the Phillies' collapse at the end of the '64 season. The Cards and Bob Gibson came on strong. In World Series Game 7, pitching on 2 days' rest, Gibson struggled but prevailed over the Yankees.
This ballpark just bulging with every pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Richardson waits. Gibson delivers. Swung on, pops up. Maxwell at second base. Calling for it. Makes the catch. The Cardinals win it. And this ballpark, complete bedlam. The final score is St. Louis 7, New York 5. And in a moment, we will review the highlights of the game for you.
One of the top songs on Broadway in 1967 was The Impossible Dream. The Red Sox of Yastrzemski and Lonborg dreamed their impossible dream and took the American League pennant.
Here's Carl Yastrzemski, and there's a long drive toward right field. Back near the bullpen, it is going to be gone, a home run. Lonborg is within 1 out of his biggest victory ever, his 22nd of the year, and his first over the Twins. The pitch is looped towards shortstop. Petrocelli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And it's pandemonium on the field.
No pitcher since 1931 had won more than 30 games. But 1968 was the year of the Tiger, and the Tiger pitcher of the year was Denny McLain. He was out to prove that 30 was still possible.
Here's the set by Segui, the pitch. Swung on, the drive to left. That'll be the ball game. It's over the head of Gosma. McLain wins his 30th. Here comes Stanley in the score. Willie Horton, single, and the ball game is over. And the Tigers win it 5-4. Denny McLain is one of the first out of the dugout. Racing out, and Horton is mobbed as the Tigers come from behind. And McLain has his 30th victory of the 1968 season.
Bob Gibson kept up his extraordinary pitching in the 1968 World Series. In Game 1, he topped Sandy Koufax's 5-year-old World Series strikeout record with a 17-strikeout performance.
Gibson has tied the record of Sandy Koufax, 15 strikeouts in a single World Series game. Trying for number 16 right now against Cash to break the record. He takes his set position, he delivers, here's a pitch, swing and a miss, he did it!
The Mets, on laughingstock just a few years before, startled the baseball world in 1969. If man could walk on the moon, the Mets could win the pennant. Here's how it sounded.
Nolan Ryan, who came in the ball game with the Mets behind 2-0 in the third. 1 out away from the National League pennant. Gonzalez has had 2 hits and 4 times up. Left-hand batter. Against Ryan, he has had no hit.
in 2 times up. And the first pitch swung on and missed. Strike one. Blazing fastball, let her high. And the pitch back a curve, topped out to third. Garrett has the ball, the throw to first. And the Mets are the National League champions. A wild scramble as the Mets celebrating their National League championship.
And the Mets kept up their amazing momentum, shocking the heavily favored Orioles in a 5-game series. In Game 5, Jerry Koosman came out looking for a complete game, a complete miracle.
Clendenin is just one good stride into the outfield grass at first. 2-1 pitch, fly ball, deep left field. Jones is back to the fence. Jones is on the warning track. The World Series is over. Jones makes the catch.
Yes, baseball on the radio is always something special. We hope you've enjoyed hearing baseball history as it happened. This copyrighted recording is the property of Major League Baseball. Any reproduction or other commercial use of this recording in whole or in part is prohibited. Baseball and the radio have always been connected. Whether you listened on Dad's car radio, Grandpa's tabletop, or your own transistor under the pillow, nothing can capture baseball's best moments like radio. Thrilling moments like Kirk Gibson's pinch hit home run in the 1988 World Series. Unbelievable moments like Mookie and the Mets in 1986. Proud moments such as Hank Aaron's 715th home run. You're about to hear these and many, many others, just as they were called by the legendary announcers. This copyrighted recording is the property of Major League Baseball. Any reproduction or other commercial use of this recording in whole or in part is prohibited. Let's begin Volume 2 of Baseball's Best Moments in 1971. We're in our nation's capital. Washington had a tradition of Major League Baseball dating back to 1873, and it also had a tradition of losing baseball. The old Senators moved to Minnesota in '61 and became the pennant-winning Twins of '65. New Senators came along, and Washington continued to be first in war, first in peace, and last in the American League. The era of Washington baseball draws to a close in 1971 in unusual fashion.
I believe Bert Hawkins has just said that this game will be forfeited to New York.
It has been.
Well, it's a strange way to lose a ball game. It's a strange way to wind up Major League Baseball in the nation's capital. But I guess it's been a topsy-turvy season. No one believed that there would not be Major League Baseball in the nation's capital. But it's sad to report there no longer is. How long Major League Baseball will stay away remains to be seen.
Willie Mays moved to San Francisco with the Giants in 1958, but always occupied a special place in the hearts of New Yorkers. 14 years after that move, Willie returned to New York as a Met. In his first game, he faces the Giants. Here's the storybook result.
John Cumberland, a left-hander. Jim Barr, a right-hander, throwing in the bullpen for the Giants. Payoff pitch to Mays. And it's way back in left field. It could be. It's going, and it is a home run. A home run for Willie Mays. Number 647 in his career. From the crowd and in the dugout from the net as he belted a 3-2 pitch over the left field wall. It puts the Mets out in front by a score of 5-4. The 647th home run of Mays' career, his first of this season.
Many of baseball's greats reached personal milestones in the 1970s. Here's Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks, becoming one of the few to join the 500 home run club.
He swings and a drive. Liner left field. It is. There it is. Mr. Banks has just hit his 500th career homer. He is getting a standing ovation. He is trotting to third base. A handshake from Peter Strawberry.
He gives a low liner, a fastball. Knocks his cap as he steps on home plate. Waves to the fans as he dives into that dugout. They are standing here at Wrigley Field and giving Ernie an ovation.
In 1973, Cincinnati boasted the Big Red Machine, filled with future Hall of Famers. Their opponent in the National League playoffs, the Mets, squeaked through to win the NL East with a record just 3 games over 500. When the Reds' Pete Rose collides with the Mets' Bud Harrelson, records, odds, and everything else are forgotten.
Ground ball hit down to first base. Milner has it, throws to Buddy Harrelson. 1 to first. Double play! And a fight breaks out. Pete Rose and Buddy Harrelson. Both clubs still out of the dugout. And a wild fight is going on. Jerry Kuzman's in the middle of the fight. Here come the players from the dugouts on the dead run. Everybody is out there. Buddy Harrelson and Pete Rose got into it. Rose apparently thought that Harrelson had done something in making the double play. Rose is about 10 times the size. And now, Rosie Capra is in a fight. Out in center field, another fight breaks out. And the fists are really flying. Pete Rose went after Buddy Harrelson. Rose outweighs Harrelson about 35 pounds. Buddy made the double play, threw on to first base. And now they're really having trouble holding on to somebody out there. Now Joe Morgan was really into it. Capra and Morban got into a strong fight. Buddy Harrelson has been cut. Tom McKenna is working with him. The players are still all out there. Rose went after Buddy Harrelson.
Hammerin' Hank Aaron never played for a New York, Chicago, or L.A. team. Toiling in relative obscurity, he averaged 36 home runs each year from 1954 to 1973. He began the 1974 season needing only 2 home runs to top Babe Ruth's once sacred home run record. Number 714 came quickly. Then 2 days later...
Here's the pitch by Downing. Swinging. There's a drive into left center field. That ball is going to be out of here. It's gone. It's 7:15. There's a new home run champion of all time, and it's Henry Aaron. The fireworks are going. Henry Aaron is coming around third. His teammates are at home plate. And listen to this crowd.
Maury Wills had changed baseball in the early 60s by reviving the art of the stolen base. Maury's 104 steals in 62 broke Ty Cobb's unbeatable record. And in 1974, Maury's record too was broken by Cardinal speedster Lou Brock.
Brock takes the lead. Ruthven checks in. He is going. The pitch is a strike. The throw. He is there. He did it. 105 for Lou Brock. And they give Lou Brock number 105. They're going to get into base. Larry Moore shook his hand. The Philadelphia shortstop congratulated Lou Brock. About 50 ushers go on the field. The Cardinals pour out of the dugout to shake hands with their teammates. All of the Cardinals out of the dugout, out of the bullpen, mobbing Lou Brock, a fellow they dearly love on this Cardinal ball club. 105.
In 1973, George Steinbrenner bought the Yanks from CBS. A few years later, he began his patented practice of hiring, firing, and firing managers. An important chapter in this came in the middle of the 1975 season, when a former Yankee spark-plug second sacker took the managerial reins.
The big announcement this morning at a press conference, Billy Martin, former Yankee infielder, now manager of the New York Yankees, having replaced Bill Verdon. In just a moment, we're going to meet Billy Martin with Phil Rizzuto. Phil, I know you have so many things on your mind today, the old-timers game, seeing a lot of your buddies, and, of course, the managerial change. It's just a
It's got my head spinning, Frank, to tell you the truth. There's a feeling of sadness, of course, for Bill Burden, but also gladness of Billy Martin coming back to the team that he started with and always wanted to be with. Billy, Frank Messer and I were just talking about your days with the Yankees and what I thought of you. You know, you're the kind of guy, and I'm sure that's one of the reasons they got you as manager. Hey, I didn't even congratulate you, really. Congratulations.
You know, Phil, it's like when you're a young boy, your dreams are to be a Yankee, and then now you become a Yankee, now you're a Yankee manager. You know, boy couldn't ask for more than that.
The 1975 World Series is considered by many to be the greatest ever. The valiant Red Sox fought the awesome Reds bravely. In Game 6, their backs to the wall, the Red Sox scored 3 in the 8th to tie the game. It stayed knotted until the 12th, and Carlton Fisk came up. You can almost hear the body English here.
The 1-0 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays fair, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win! And the series is tied 3 games apiece.
The 1977 World Series marked the true emergence of Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. In all, Reggie hit 5 homers in the series, leading the Yanks over the Dodgers 4-2. His crowning achievement came in Game 6, as he accomplishes a feat only performed before him by Babe Ruth.
There's a fly ball to center field and deep. That's going to be way back, and that's going to be gone. Reggie Jackson has hit his 3rd home run of the game. Reggie Jackson becomes the 2nd man in World Series history to hit 3 home runs in a game. We showed you earlier Babe Ruth did it on 2 occasions, in 1926 and in 1928. And Jackson just crunched one over the center field wall. That must have been 440 feet or more away.
Pete Rose may have been baseball's greatest overachiever. Through sheer force of will, he scrapped and hustled his way to stardom. One of his finest accomplishments came in 1978, as he made a run at Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. Pete fell a bit short, but he did tie the National League record of 44 straight, set in 1897 by Wee Willie Keeler. Here's game number 44.
With the high number of at-bats that Rose has accumulated this season, his batting average will neither go down very much when he goes hitless, nor will it rise a whole lot. He swings and grounds one to the right side. A base hit to right field. Rose has done it again. Pete Rose drives a hard ground single by the outstretched glove of Ron Gilbert, and he has tied a record set back in 1897. Some 81 years ago by Wee Willie Keeler, who hit in 44 consecutive games. Jerry Royster coming over from shortstop to hand Rose the baseball as fireworks are being fired colorfully in the air over Atlanta Stadium. Rose being presented a bouquet of roses by one of the ball girls here at Atlanta Stadium, and Pete tipping his cap to all sectors of the stadium as he bangs a single into right field to keep the hitting streak alive at 44 in a row.
The 1978 American League East was some race. The Red Sox squandered a big July lead, then rallied to tie the Yankees. The season ended in a dead heat, forcing a 1-game playoff at Fenway. Few Red Sox fans will forget the heartbreak of light-hitting Bucky Dent's encounter with the Green Monster.
There's a drive toward left. And Yastrzemski will watch it go into the screen, and the Yankees lead 3-2. Yankee dugout is all out to get Bucky Dent. He pulled the ball toward the foul pole. Yaz went back to play it off the wall, but it just did get up into the screen, and suddenly this whole thing is turned around.
Back in their glory days of the 50s, winning consecutive World Series was commonplace for the Yankees. In fact, they won 5 straight from 1949 to 1953. But in the 70s, repeating became harder and harder to do. The Yankees made it back to the World Series in 1978 for a rematch against the Dodgers. Mr. October was still there, so were Ron Guidry and Catfish Hunter. Here's how the series ended.
And once again, Shea backs off. Oh, the Dodger corral just a bit quiet here. Here's the 2-2.
Fouled back. That's out of play over the Yankee dugout off the right side. Count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes on Ron Cey. 2 outs, nobody on. It's 7-2 Yankees in the 9th inning.
And before the last pitch, a word for a self-effacing, unassuming, great pitcher by the name of Ron Guidry in the Yankee scheme of things.
2-2 pitch, popped up behind the plate, coming back Munson. Throws the mask away. He's there. It's all over. It's all over, and the Yankees charge down the field. They mob Goose Gossage. The Yankees have won their 2nd straight World Championship. Final score here tonight at Dodger Stadium. The Yankees 7 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 2.
Carl Yastrzemski was one reason for the Red Sox to always have hope. Here in 1979, he attains the 3,000 hit milestone.
The outfield for New York is swung around toward right. Jackson is as deep as he can get in right field. Here's the pitch on the way. There's a ground ball, base hit into right field. Carl Yastrzemski has singled to right, and he has made number 3,000 just out of the reach of Willie Randolph, the second baseman. And now his teammates have gone out onto the field. Everybody out of the Boston dugout surrounding the captain, who is on first base. The first man in the history of the American League to have 3,000 hits and 400 home runs. It has happened here at Fenway in his last at-bat tonight.
The 1980s began with the world turned upside down. The Phillies, symbols of futility throughout their many years in the National League, finally won the World Series. Steve Carlton pitched Game 7 in front of the adoring hometown fans. Listen to how it ended.
Walking and Cardinal taking their lead. Wilson pinwheeling the battle round. The 1-2 pitch, fastball, shot and swing. The Philadelphia Phillies are the champions of the world.
Since 1954, Indian fans did not have much to cheer about. But one bright spot took place in the 1981 strike season. Len Barker, a career .500 pitcher, tossed a gem, a perfect game.
2 strikes, 1 ball, 9th inning. Len Barker on the verge of really one of the great games in baseball history.
This place is bedlam, Herb. It is absolutely pandemonium here at the stadium.
Len Barker getting the sign from Ron Hassey. Ernie Witt stands in. Wind up, here it comes. Fly ball, center field. Manning coming on, he's there. He catches it. Len Barker has pitched the no-hitter. A perfect game for Len Barker.
Gaylord Perry brought some glory to the Seattle Mariners in 1982. Perry joined the select 300-win club with this victory.
Julio Cruz plays Randolph very deep on the right side. The third baseman, Castillo, is the only infielder in close. The outfield shaded toward right. Perry winds, and the 2-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to Julio Cruz. He has it. The throw to first base. The ball game is over, and Gaylord Perry has become only the 15th pitcher in Major League history to win 300 baseball games.
In 1983, George Brett and the Kansas City Royals were battling the Yankees in a key game at Yankee Stadium. George hit a home run, or did he? Yankee manager Billy Martin protested that Brett's bat was illegal. Here's the improbable as it happened.
Set by Gossage. The pitch deep to right field. Holy cow, I don't believe it. Home run for George Brett. I don't believe it. That lightning could strike twice. And Billy Martin now is coming out. He wants to take a look at that bat. Oh, that's a little late. I don't believe it. I told you I had nightmares about this thing. Hey, they might have a point here. Thurman Munson was called out after getting a base hit because there is fine tar above the trademark. And Billy Martin might have a valid point here. That's the only way the Yankees can get out of this scrape. Holy
cow, I can't believe it. Fred hit that ball 9 miles. Billy pointing to the bat. Now, Thurman Munson had gotten a base hit out in Minnesota, and the manager of the Twins at that time asked the umpire to look at the bat, and they called Thurman Munson out. And Martin has a very valid argument here. And if he wins this, there will be chaos. There's a big huddle out there, and the umpires are going to talk, or they got to get a calibrating machine out here to calibrate this thing and see just how high the pine tar is. And there is a definite rule in the rule book that you cannot have it above a certain distance. And they are about to make a decision, and this could be a momentous decision. You remember the
I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I can't believe they called Brett out here.
Dick Hauser is furious. They are holding George Brett out there. 3 men are holding him.
Well, the game's over.
That's right. He is called out, and the Yankees win the game 4-3, but it's one of the most unbelievable innings I have ever seen.
Dwight Gooden was a teenage marvel in 1984. As a rookie, he chalked up strikeout after strikeout. Soon, it became clear that he was going to surpass Grover Cleveland Alexander's National League rookie strikeout record. Then he went after Herb Score's Major League record.
The count is 2-2 on Marvell Wynn. The crowd standing and yelling. Here's the pitch on the way. Struck him out. The entire infield is coming to the mound to shake hands with Dwight Gooden. Dwight Gooden, he now owns the all-time Major League record, most strikeouts by a rookie pitcher, erasing the old figure set by Herb Score almost 30 years ago, back in 1955.
Reggie Jackson joined the ranks of 500 home run hitters in 1984 while with the Angels. Here's his shot.
Check the other baseball as we go along here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Reggie will lead it off. He is lined down to right, and draw Milwaukee is 0 for 1. Here's the pitch to Reggie. Swing on, and there it goes. This is number 500, and watch him stroll. Goodbye, a home run for Reggie Jackson, number 500. They are scrambling for the baseball in the right field stands as Reggie makes the tour. Only the 13th man in the history of this game to hit 500 home runs. He walks across home plate. He gets a handshake from Bobby Grich, the glad hand from Bob Boone. And even though his crowd is down 7-1, history has been made here tonight as Reggie Jackson hits number 500.
The Cubs had not been part of postseason baseball since 1945. That era of futility came to an end in 1984 as Rick Sutcliffe came over from the American League and led the Cubs to the National League East flag. Listen to the clinching.
And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. We may be down to a pitch for a division title. The wind and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Strike there it is. The game is over. The Cubs have won it. Yes, sir. The Cubs have won the game. The Cubs have won the division. Look at him, Bob Sutcliffe, a 2-hitter. Sutcliffe wins his 20th game of the year, his 16th as a Cub, and Bedlam has broken loose on the AstroTurf at Three Rivers as the Chicago Cubs have made it all happen in 1984.
But the Cubs' hopes of being in the World Series were dashed again. This time, the San Diego Padres got in their way. The most dramatic moment came in Game 4. The Cubs had fought back to tie the game at 5. A Cub win meant the pennant. But Steve Garvey came up in the bottom of the 9th with 1 man on.
What a game Garvey has had. 3 for 4, a double and 2 singles. He's knocked in 3 of the 5 Padre runs. Now the stretch by Lee Smith. The 1-0 pitch, swing, and a drive into deep right field. It's got a chance. It is out of here. Home run, Steve Garvey. And the Padres have forced the 5th and final game of this league championship series. Steve Garvey has driven in 5 runs tonight. Wins it the 9th with a home run.
Garvey. He'd only hit 8 home runs during the regular season. And in a pregame conversation tonight with Padre coach Harry Dunlop, we were talking about the fact that Garvey seemed to be a warning track power hitter now, except in some situations. He said, it seems to me he never hits the ball to right center field anymore for home runs. He just hit one to win the game.
Tom Seaver grew up with the Mets. New York wept when Tom went to the Reds and cheered when he returned to New York in 1983. When a front office mix-up occurred, Tom landed with the Chicago White Sox. 2 years later, he achieved his 300th victory.
Seaver sets, checks Pasqua and pitches. Baylor swings, sends a fly ball into shallow right. Now it's deeper. Back goes the left fielder, rather, into left. It's caught, and Seaver has won his 300th game. Tom Seaver, slapping his hands together, he jumps into the arms of Carlton Fisk. Tom Seaver has won his 300th game.
Pete Rose was relentless in his pursuit of Ty Cobb's all-time hit record. Pete persisted year after year, and in 1985, having returned to the Reds as player-manager, he had Cobb in his sights. In mid-September, Pete finally achieves his goal.
Rose walking toward the plate. That number on his back, emblazoned on the minds of sports fans, probably forever and ever, the most famous number 14 in the history of this game, and trying to make history right here in the first inning tonight. He levels the bat a couple of times. Schau kicks and he fires. Rose swings. There it is! There it is! Get out! Get out! All right! Hit number 4192. A line drive single into left center field. A clean base hit. And it is pandemonium here at Riverfront Stadium. The fireworks exploding overhead. The Cincinnati dugout has emptied. The applause continues unabated. And the kind of outpouring of adulation that I don't think you'll ever see an athlete get any more of.
Rod Carew, one of the consistently good hitters of the 70s and 80s, reached a goal in 1985 as well, with his hit number 3,000.
And Rod Carew getting a standing ovation as he comes up with another chance at number 3,000 for his career. Viola ready. And the 1-1 offering. Line drive, base hit, left field. There it is, number 3,000, and Downing will stop at third. Rod Carew with number 3,000 as he goes the other way for a base hit.
The Kansas City Royals were underdogs to the Cardinals in the I-70 World Series in 1985, but Dick Hauser's team rallied from a 3-1 deficit to win the series. In Game 7, Brett Saberhagen was on the mound dominating the Cardinals. Joaquin Andujar came on in the 5th for the Cards and made some noise.
Oh, look at this. Andujar, who thought that he'd thrown a strike, comes storming in toward home plate umpire Don Dinkinger. And he's being restrained by 2 or 3 of the Cardinal players. And Billy Williams of the National League, who's umpiring at first. And now Whitey Herzog is going to chew on the plate umpire. Don Dinkinger has kicked out the St. Louis manager, Whitey Herzog. And now Whitey's going to get his money's worth. I will say this. It is very difficult for a manager to get kicked out of a World Series game.
Now Andujar's still wild down there around home plate. He's after the home plate umpire after Whitey Herzog was ejected from the game.
Probably the greatest pitcher from the mid-'80s on has been Roger Clemens. He set an unbelievable record in 1986, fanning 20 Seattle Mariners in one 9-inning game. Here's number 20.
Strike 2. 2-2. And here they come up at Fenway.
I'm surprised they're going back down. I would think they would just stay up.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to stand up.
A new record. Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Game 5 of the 1986 American League playoffs was a heart-stopper. The Angels were 1 inning away from their first pennant ever, which also would have been a first for manager Gene Mauch. But in the ninth, the Red Sox rallied for 4. Dave Henderson, who would later win the game for the Sox, hits a 2-run homer, which came with the Red Sox down to their last strike.
5-4 California, trying to get the last out and go to the World Series. Here, runner at first, 2 down, the pitch. There's a shot hit to deep left field. It's way back. It is gone! A home run! A home run for Dave Henderson. He hit the shot over the left field wall, and the Red Sox take the lead.
The Mets, too, appeared on the brink of annihilation in the '86 playoffs. In Game 6, Bob Knepper held them in check through 8. If the Astros could win, the Mets would have the unhappy prospect of facing Mike Scott in a decisive Game 7. But then came the 9th inning for New York.
Now the 1-2 delivery. And a high fly hit the right center field, pretty deep. On the run, on the run, on the run. Hatcher can't reach it. Base hit bouncing off the wall. Dykstra around second, racing for third. He's in standing with a triple. Now Mookie's standing in. Mookie 0 for 2 and a walk. Infield back, the Astros have a 3-run lead. And the pitch on the way. And a soft line drive to second. Base hit. Dykstra in to score. It's 3-1. The tying run, Mitchell, will be coming to bat. The throw to first in time for the out. Mookie Wilson moves over to second. Keith Hernandez will be coming up. The pitch. And a fly ball well hit the right center. Billy Hatcher on the run. On the run, way back. Can't get it. Base hit. Over his head. Wilson around third. Mookie will score. 3-2. And the tying run on second. The pitch on the way. Ball 4. The lead run goes to first base. Darryl Strawberry will come up. The pitch. Ball 4. The bases are loaded. Ray Knight will be coming up. The pitch. Fly ball, well hit to right center field. The game will be tied up. Hernandez tagging up. Ball caught by Kevin Bass. Hernandez will score. Tie ball game. Runners on second and third.
The game went 16 innings. In the 14th, each team scored once. In the 16th, the Mets got 3 in the top of the inning. Houston came back with 2 in the bottom of the 16th. Here, Jesse Orosco faces Kevin Bass with the tying and winning runs on base.
Full count, 3-2. 3-2. What will he do? Tying run on second, winning run on first, 2 down. 1 more out. The Mets are in the World Series. It may go the other way. Now the stretch. The pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Struck him out. Mets win it. The Mets have won it. They're in the World Series.
The Mets' magic continued into the World Series. In Game 6, the Red Sox scored 2 in the top of the 10th, just 3 outs from their first World Series title since 1918. The Mets came up in the bottom of the 10th. Quickly, there were 2 outs. But then the Mets began their improbable rally. 3 singles, and the tying run is on third, and Mookie Wilson comes up.
Mets have only 1 strike left. Stanley is ready. The pitch. Gets away! Gets away! Here comes Mitchell! Here comes Mitchell! Tie game! Tie game! Unbelievable! A wild pitch. The game is tied 5-5. Mitchell comes in to score. Knight, the winning run, is on second. Either a wild pitch or a pass ball. We'll wait for the official scoring. But it's a tie ball game, Gary.
Pitch came low and inside. Gedman did get a glove on it. Slowed it down, but it went all the way to the backstop.
Mookie Wilson still hoping to win it for New York. 3-2 the count. And the pitch by Stanley. And a ground ball trickling. It is a fair ball. Gets by Buckner. Pounding third Knight. The Mets will win the ball game. The Mets win. They win.
Mike Schmidt was probably the best third baseman in history. Certainly he was the Phillies' greatest slugger. Mike hit his 500th home run in 1987.
3 balls and no strikes to Schmidt. Here's the stretch by Robinson. The 3-0 pitch. Swing and long drive. There it is. Number 500. The career 500th home run for Michael Jack Schmidt. And the Phillies have regained the to home plate.
The 1988 season opened rather poorly for the Baltimore Orioles. The young Orioles lost their first 21 games. Would they ever win one? Let's see.
2 down in the 9th inning. The Orioles with a lead this late for the first time this year. Here's the stretch, the 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to second. Over to his right, fielding it Stanisic. Plenty of time, and he throws him out. And the Orioles have won it. And many in the crowd in Chicago applauding their efforts. And the Orioles now, many coming out of the dugout to form a line of congratulations for the first time in 1988.
Orel Hershiser broke Don Drysdale's consecutive scoreless innings streak in 1988. Orel was simply unhittable as the Dodgers took the National League West and the pennant. Here's Hershiser talking with the man whose record he topped right after this historic moment.
Congratulations, and it couldn't have happened to a nicer guy, and at least you kept it in the family.
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank God for all the ability that I got, and I didn't ask for it. I just went out there and did the best I can, and after that strikeout, I thought, well, maybe I can just get 2/3 out of this inning, but it worked out.
I think the big thing, as we have talked, is Gibson sends out a one-hopper to Martinez, and that'll be out number 1. But Orel, I think the big thing, and everybody was asking me today, and I'm going to pass it on to you. What is he thinking about? I said, well, I don't know. I just thought about another ball game myself. What about you?
I was thinking about hoping to get a win here tonight, and I was taking it one pitch at a time. And as you know, the only time I really thought about the streak is when there was a guy up there that could hit the ball at the ballpark, and I really said to myself, I'm not going to give him anything soft to hit, then make a mistake. I'm going to make him hit my hard sinker, and if they take the base hit to right or left, then I'll give that to him, but I'm not going to let him have any ball to really drive. And I really only made like 4 or 5 mistakes all night to guys that could have hit the ball at the ballpark. Martinez got 2 of them and 1 at bat, and Santiago got 1.
Kirk Gibson was a football player back at Michigan State. While baseball was his true love, his football past made him somewhat injury-prone. In 1988, after his leadership helped propel the Dodgers to the National League pennant, everyone expected he would sit out the World Series. The experts were surprised to see Gibson limp out to pinch hit in the bottom of the 9th in Game 1. They were even more surprised at what happened next.
2 out and 3-2 on Gibson. We have a big 3-2 pitch coming here from Eckersley. Gibson swings and a fly ball to deep right field. This is going to be a home run. Unbelievable! A home run for Gibson. And the Dodgers have won the game 5-4. I don't believe what I just saw. I don't believe what I just saw. Is this really happening, Bill?
It is happening, and they've got to help him home. The third base coach, Joe Malfitano, had to give him a little push, and all the Dodgers are around home plate.
I don't believe what I just saw.
In 1989, the World Series matched cross-bay rivals, the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland A's. Everyone expected some rumbling during these games, but nothing like what actually happened.
What happened somewhere around 5:05 on the West Coast, everything started shaking here. In fact, some had commented, in fact, it was, we just got the register, 6.9 is what they're saying on the Richter scale on this earthquake. But about 5:05, things started to really shake here in the box, and I'll tell you, there were some very, very worried looks on the people's faces here in the press box. This place started going a bit crazy, and finally, after 20, 25 seconds, the major shaking stopped, but I could see the light standards moving just above the stadium. There are just a few lights on the bank of lights off to the left, and that's about all the power that we have here in the booth or in the ballpark. I understand there are some lights on in the restrooms and around the concession stands here at Candlestick Park. And I'm not sure that we're going to be able to have a ball game here tonight at Candlestick Park.
No one had hit 50 or more home runs since George Foster back in 1977. But in 1990, Cecil Fielder returned from Japan and began smacking shots all over the American League. He entered the final game of the season against the Yankees, needing only 1 homer to reach 50.
The 2-1. Swung on, there it goes. It is high. It is far. It is gone in the upper deck. The 50th home run for Cecil Fielder, and he did it in a big way.
Congratulations, Cecil Fielder. He becomes the 11th player in the history of baseball to hit 50 home runs, and he rocketed a drive in the upper deck. And they give him a big hand. They should. They should. He's hugging Tony Phillips at the plate. His teammates are all standing up now, coming out to greet him. One at a time, led by Chet Lemon. The 11th man in the game to hit 50 more home runs.
The stretch by Mills. It'll be a payoff. Line to deep left field. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Cecil Fielder. Well, Cecil Fielder hits a 2-run home run and hits a 3-run home run.
Nolan Ryan. Say that name and it triggers images of greatness, of strikeouts, of durability, and yes, of no-hitters. In 1990, 43-year-old Nolan Ryan broke his own record for career no-hitters, just like this.
Willie Randolph struck out, hit one solidly to left field, one of the best hit balls of the night, and also fly to right. 2-0 pitch. Ball is hit in the air, may be playable. Ruben Sierra comes, and Ryan has a no-hitter. Number 6. Not only are his teammates mobbing him, but a number of fans have climbed over the wall to get to Ryan. He is the king, and they are lifting him and carrying him, paying homage to Nolan Ryan. I would say he is back from his back problems. I think he feels pretty good right now. Man. We hope to talk to Nolan Ryan coming up on the postgame show. A slice of history brought to you tonight. 5-0 Rangers.
Comiskey Park on Chicago's South Side first opened in 1910. It survived the Black Sox scandal of 1919, the Sox long dry spells, and several threats to move the team out of Chicago. But Comiskey could not survive progress. The new Comiskey Park scheduled to open in 1991. As 1990 drew to a close, Comiskey's days were numbered.
It is an emotionally charged Comiskey Park on the south side of Chicago, where we come to you today. The final game ever to be played at this ballpark. Its great 80-year history is coming to an end, but a new era begins next April the 18th, 1991. Welcome into our coverage today. Along with John Rooney, I'm Wayne Hagan. Ed Murphy's our engineer. The place is going to be packed to the rafters. A lot of people have come out here, a lot of celebrities. Kurt Russell and his wife Goldie Hawn. Mayor Richard Daley is here. It is going to be a spectacular afternoon. And as I look around this ballpark and all the great memories that I have been able to hear about today, talking with Minnie Minoso, talking with various other people, the fans that have come out here over the weekend, I think God today on this Sunday must be a White Sox fan, because we are blessed with perfect weather. A puffy white cloud is beyond the right center field area. That is the only cloud that is of any significance. Bright sunshine pouring down on this field. And if this is to be the funeral for Comiskey Park 1, then I can't wait for the opening of the new one next April.
The opening of the 91 season was eagerly awaited by Rickey Henderson. He had his eye on Lou Brock's lifetime stolen base record, but Rickey went on the DL early in the season. When he returned in May, the record was on the line.
There he goes. There's a pitch. It's inside. Throw to third. Move over Lou Brock. He has done it. Number 339. He grabs the base immediately. He holds it over his head. He's getting a standing ovation. Rickey Henderson got a tremendous jump at second base, and when he slid in ahead of Lou Brock.
It's only right to wrap up over 20 years of highlights with the most remarkable pitcher of these 20 years, or perhaps any 20 years. Nolan Ryan did it again in 91, pitching his 7th no-hitter. Here's the call.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, and a brilliant moment at Arlington Stadium. Nolan Ryan throws it on the rubber. Alomar stays right in the left-handed batter's box. Ryan the sign. Here's the windup. And the 2-2 pitch. He's got the back swinger. It's a no-hitter, number 7. Sandy Alomar has struck out. And Nolan
Even in this TV era, baseball on the radio remains something special. We hope you've enjoyed hearing baseball history just as it happened. This copyrighted recording is the property of Major League Baseball. Any reproduction or other commercial use of this recording in whole or in part is prohibited.